Hey guys, I'm here with author, speaker, and blogger Steve Pavlina.
Hello.
Hi Steve.
Hey, Luke, good to be here.
I've been following his blog for about 4 years now, and he gets about 2.5 million views a month. He's the #1 personal development blogger on the internet. So, here's Steve.
Hello.
Well, lots of times I would just wake up in the morning and I was really freaked out that I actually exist. Like, what am I doing? It's kind of like life is a psychedelic trip that I'm going through, and always like 2 years, like when I'm 18, I can't, like what I picture myself to be at 20, it's always completely different. It's like every couple of years I'm in a completely different place than I would even imagine. And I'm just confused about life all the time, but the deeper I go, the more awesome it goes, and the more things connect from my past in beautiful ways. I'm starting to have more trust the system, and things are working out. I'm just wondering where your like deep spiritual life beliefs, what's going on?
The way
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's make sure to talk loud. So
So the way I see beliefs are essentially a lens or filter for looking at reality. So a lot of times I get asked, like, what are your beliefs, or what is your religion, or what is your philosophy? And wrapped up in that question is a hidden assumption that if there's a belief or a set of beliefs, I have to choose among them and then somehow wrap them into my identity and make them mine. And I used to do that just like everybody else does, at least I thought they did. And then I realized that's not necessarily something you need to do, because it's just limiting. It's like having a single pair of glasses and wearing them for the rest of your life. Or what if your prescription changes? Or what if you feel like putting on some sunglasses? And so I realized beliefs are essentially like software that's a filtering program. So it changes how you see reality. So instead of having a belief that I just want to cling to and latch onto and say, this is my belief and now I'm done, I would rather see them as like a toolbox, a collection of things where I can pick this up and look at this lens and see how reality works this way, put it back down again. I pick up another one and look through that, even if the beliefs seem to contradict each other. Like all the time, I'll look at the reality through the objective lens and say, what does this situation mean if this is a totally objective universe? And then I'll put that one down and I'll go, okay, let's pick up the subjective one. What is it? If I knew this was a dream, how would I see this situation or problem? And then put that down. And I can say, okay, if I see this situation as a competitive threat, or a competitive situation, and I need to win here, then what does that mean?
All right, Steve, at the deepest level, do you think your soul or who you are is an infinite being?
Well, the idea that we have a soul is kind of a belief too. Like, what exactly is a soul? What does that mean? Do I believe like that deep down we're immortal, or that we continue to exist? I'd say that ultimately I chose to believe that because I think it makes for a more interesting life. I wrote this article a while ago called Life After Death, where I sort of explored all those possibilities. Like, if beliefs are just lenses and we can choose our beliefs, then what are the most empowering beliefs to have? And I thought, okay, well, on one hand I could have this belief that life gets stomped out when our physical bodies die. On the other hand, I could say, okay, there's some glorious heaven we go to, and then we get judged afterwards, and either ascend to some higher realm of bliss, or we descend into some realm of torture and depravity. That didn't seem like the greatest belief to have either, because then you just become paranoid while you're living here. And then I thought, okay, on the other hand, maybe I could believe that life just continues onward and we continue growing almost infinitely in different realms. I thought, what would be the most blissful and interesting way to see life? And I thought it would be like it's this infinite growth experience with just unlimited possibilities. Yeah. And I sort of thought, like, what if you could create any experience you want? Like, you're a god. What would a god do? And I thought, maybe a god would just be really bored being a god. I would want to have an experience where it seems like the god is limited. And so it could experience all kinds of other things from a more limited perspective. So in a way, I thought, the most empowering belief I have is that this is heaven. Like, this where we are right now is the most amazing existence we could possibly design. It's like the most incredible way to live. And that it just gets better and better as we go along. And even if we die, we're going to continue on in some other form, some other dimension, new growth experiences. I don't know if we're reincarnated or not. But it's not about having proof for any of that, because none of that's provable one way or another. If it all happens after we die, who knows what happens to our consciousness? There's no way to measure that from within this place where we are right now. And so you can believe whatever you want. And I realized that would make the most empowering life for me, even if I'm completely wrong, even if it totally gets snuffed out when I die.
I like to think as I age, technology will automatically adapt to make me live for forever in this life. So instead of dying and going to heaven, or dying and going to a spiritual realm or something, that technology could just kind of give me an immortal body or download my brain into some computer system, that technology that I can't even imagine right now. And then eventually down the line, I'll get to the point where I basically am God and everything connects perfectly. And I'll just imagine a whole nother creation where I'll split myself into and go into a whole nother worlds, and where I don't remember I'm God, and it's just an infinite repeating process. And I've kind of internalized that belief, and it just makes life kind of magical. Like how I stumbled on the stage and answered questions accidentally. Like experiences like that happen more and more the more I kind of believe that really empowering belief.
Yeah, I expect that may very well happen within our lifetimes. I studied a lot of artificial intelligence and neuroscience, and I just see, there's authors like Ray Kurzweil writing a lot about how everything's converging towards a singularity, and that creates some really interesting possibilities. Like we might even need to redesign how we define, our sense of self. Like what does it mean to be a sense of self? If we can put ourselves in digital format, then we can create duplicates of ourselves, we can clone ourselves, we can teleport ourselves, different bodies. And what happens if you teleport yourself to 2 different locations at once? And you have different Android bodies or whatever at different locations. You've downloaded your mental pattern as software into each one. Or what if you do that, 10,000 times or 10 million times, and you've got, how do you sense who you are then? Does your consciousness end up being split in 2 different places? Is it like having, 10 fingers, like 10 bodies? Like it's you are the whole thing, and this is just a piece of you? Could you control multiple bodies that they all feel like you, they're all just part of you? What does that mean? And you realize that even your sense of self, your sense of identity, is itself a program. It's a filter in how you see reality. Like you don't actually have to define you as this physical body right here that you label as Luke. You could define this whole scene, this whole reality as you. You're the dreamer that's conjuring all this stuff up, and this body right here is just your avatar for communicating within that realm. So there's all kinds of strange possibilities as how consciousness could evolve and what our experience of existence could be. It's kind of exciting to think about too.
It's fun, yeah.
I mean, imagine if you got 10,000 of you somewhere and you can control them all independently, and you have the upgraded brain processing power to be able to do that.
Yeah.
That could be amazing, or it could be maddening.
Yeah.
but think of it now. You've got trillions of cells in your body, and what if you had to control all of them individually? You're not even aware of them. So in a way, it's like your conscious mind could possibly evolve to be sort of a higher level program running on top of everything, so you don't have to be aware of all those micro sub processes going on. They're just all automated. And what happens to your sense of self? Who do you become? What do you become? It's like you are transforming into some kind of God. But right now you're the God of all your cells. You've got all these cells cooperating, and they're doing your bidding. And you're not even aware of it most of the time.
Crazy, yeah. Mind blows. Yeah, so what type of girls are you attracted to?
I'm still exploring that, but one thing I noticed is I seem to be really attracted to women who have like some kind of